Alright, here is a video review for Iron Factory's Lord Scorpion, one of the ones I have been anticipating for a while. It's super stoked to have him here. He is very cool. Here he is in city mode, just a small little city mode. He's not very large at all, and you can see when my hand comes in here. Then there's this little headmaster, Zarek if you prefer. This is supposed to be the comic version, so I guess that's really Abraham Dante, but very, very tiny. You can see, like, there's my pinky. So very small, very wee. Like here he is next to a deluxe class head. It's very tiny. I'll set him off to the side. He also comes with a rifle that you can stick in his claw in as a tower, I guess, in city mode, but otherwise doesn't really have a place in city mode. Yeah, and to transform him, like sit here, go ahead and spin him around. Here's his empty head carapace back here. His claws, just give you a quick spin around of city mode. Now the legs you can kind of position however you want. Like it shows a couple coming up here to kind of fill in this space and these sitting forward, but if you want to rotate these at the ball joint and hide them completely, you can. What you do with the scorpion legs is entirely up to you. Turn them into a scorpion. Go ahead and rotate. Actually, I think these rotate. They do come off as well. So a couple of these are really tight, and you really almost kind of need to pop them off to use them. And then other ones, you can just rotate them. You do want to be gentle because you don't want to put too much force up here. You want to grab them right here, otherwise you could risk snapping the barrels off. But just like that. Go ahead and take his shield off. Of here, it's a little square peg. It just pegs in right here. Take a shield, close it, and then the claws actually work, which is kind of cool. It's not just a fixed shield. You can have them open or closed or halfway. However, take the shield off like that. Go ahead and take these two pieces off. And at this point, you can either put the headmaster back in his head or not. You don't have to. I'm going to just for the sake of... actually, you know what? I'm going to hold off on doing it, but you can put him in there. There's a little shield that comes out to cover up that gap in his helmet. Like that. Again, with or without the headmaster in there. Go ahead and bring his claws down. Rotate them out. Bring the legs down. The tail you want to bring down like this, just to get it out of the way for a second. Bring the legs down and around. Rotate them there at the ball joint. You bring these around like this. Bring these around like that. And they do have they clip in here, and then these pieces will lock them in place in robot mode. But for right now, I'm just gonna leave them like this. Leave the feet folded up. Fold this piece in half, and then there's a little slot here on the foot that goes onto this tab right here. So you bring those up, tab the foot on to lock that in place, and same on this leg. There we go. You can get the right angle to make sure you can see that it's tabbing on there. Then the tail comes up, extend it like this. Actually, you want to rotate it. There's a rotational joint right here you use for city mode. Rotate it like this. Bring it up. These two pieces kind of sit in the grooves there on the back of the leg. The tail comes up and around. You can rotate this piece to point however you wish. The tail comes up. The legs come out to the side a little bit more. And again, you can position the legs. He's not quite stiff enough to really support himself on his legs. If you can do it, if you get him all lined up just right, he can kind of support himself. But if you don't have him all lined up exactly at the same level, he does tend to flop forward or backward. Although there he is, standing on his scorpion legs actually fairly securely. The shield pegs in onto the bottom here, just like this. And then these can peg on. The official instructions show you using the peg hole to peg them on down here, which you can do, and then they kind of rotate up like that. I like to go ahead and use the peg and peg them on up here and kind of just angle them down like that. But however you want to attach these to the rear part of the scorpion is fine. And there he is in his scorpion mode. He's got the posable legs. The tail can move, the guns can lift up and swivel out however you wish. But yeah, cool little Scorpion mode there. Then on to robot mode. Not super difficult from here. Go ahead and take the tail, bring it down, fold this up, all up together in. It just goes around here. I don't know. We'll get it. We fold all that up. Unpeg the shield. Bring this down. Bring the legs down. This whole assembly here on the back rotates up like that. This tail comes down. This part folds up. You can fold the tail over his head if you wish, but you just fold that down. Generally just stores it right there along his back. The legs, take these bits off, rotate the gun, either pop them off and rotate them, or like on this side, or just rotate it. This one will actually rotate. This one's very tight. So they face kind of up, and bring the legs down. This little clip piece clips in here. And then once you've done that, you can take this and peg it onto the side of the leg. And that gives it a little extra stability, locks it in place, as well as putting the silver bit on his leg. There you go. And these guns just kind of fold up and sit back here behind the leg. Bring his foot out. Just like that. You want to flip the heel out first. It's a lot easier that way. Then bring the foot forward. Come up here to the upper body. Bring the arm down. Rotate the guns around. And same over here, bring the arm down. This gun, the gun here on the front of this arm, this one's really tight. Takes a little bit of effort. All the other ones are actually fairly easy. So it really is just random tolerances on which guns are tight and which guns are not. Now you can, if you want, leave the... you can fold this down a little bit more, fold it back a little bit. Leave the shield up with the headmaster in, or you can fold it back into the chest. I like to fold it back into the chest, but if you want a little bit of an homage to the original G1 toy, you can leave that up with the headmaster in. We'll go ahead and fold that up. And close the chest back up. The legs fold up back here. And again, you've got some discretion in how you want to do this. You can fold them up really tight. You can fold them, you know, if you don't want to fold them all the way in, you can fold them further into this part of the backpack so they're not as visible from the front. You can spread them out a little bit, however you want, but these just kind of fold up and store on his back. Okay, if you want to, like, you know, spread them out more like legs, however you want to do it. And so you can see how visible they are. They're on the front, either through it, or you can tighten them up. Again, up to you. Headmaster dude just folds in half, just like that. You lift up the top part of his helmet. You slide his face in. Close the top part of his helmet. And there he is in robot mode. You take the shield, peg it on to one arm. This gun has a little tab on it. And it really only, the way it works, it really only fits in his right hand because it's offset. You can kind of see that that bit is offset there. But you open up his claw, and there's a little groove in his hand you peg the rifle into, and it can hold it fairly securely on its own, but then you can close the claw, and then even these little tip bits move independently of the claw, so he's kind of got some fingertips up here you can wrap around the gun. So yeah, posability, his helmet here is on a ball joint. It's a little limited to the shape of it. I do wish these horns were slightly shorter, just because when you're moving this around, it's really easy, like if your finger slips or whatever, you don't want to risk snapping these horns, and it can be a little tight to turn his head sometimes. And I think they're just a little big for his robot mode head. Just slightly shorter would have been okay. Still looks cool, just if I had my personal preference. So yeah, he's got the posable legs are on his back. His arms have an up and down, front to back, and then a swivel up here in the shoulder itself. The guns, like I said, are posable. You can have them point forward, down. He does have a bicep swivel. It's a little tight, but it does work. Front to back hinge elbow. He's got a side to side. That's mostly for Scorpion mode, but it is there. The claw opens. Like I said, the fingertips are individually posable. He has a waist swivel front to back, side to side hips, thigh swivel, about a 90-degree hinge knee, and then ball joints on the feet, as well as the posability there in the toe and heel. So yeah, really pretty cool. Now he does also have his instruction booklet, and then in here he comes with this little piece. I wasn't sure what it did, and a couple of people on Twitter helped me out. This piece actually can go in either hand. It's got the same kind of offset tab as the gun, but unlike the gun, you can put it in this way for this hand, or just flip it over and put it in this way. But you can plug it into his claw here. And once that's in, that gives him a 5mm peg to hold other weapons. And we'll show that off here. I'll bring in some of the other Iron Factory robots. Since he did, in the comic version, the comics, the IDW comics, he did face off against Ultra Magnus. So there he is with the City Commander from Iron Factory, just to give you an idea of the size there. He's a little bigger here. He is with their Evil Lord, their version of Overlord. So he's a larger figure. He's about deluxe-ish size. Like, here's Triggerhead. So here's a modern deluxe, and here actually he's actually a little bigger than a modern deluxe. Not quite Voyager size, but decently hefty. All right, cool. And like I said, if you want to give him, say he stole Ultra Magnus's gun, that's what that little piece is for. He can hold other weapons, which is kind of cool. The shield can peg onto either arm as well. So yeah, super fun, very cool. Definitely one I was looking forward to. Iron Factory's putting out some amazing stuff at a smaller scale, and I really dig it. Everything's solid, everything's fun, and it's small enough that you can fit a bunch of them on your shelf. So yeah, there is Iron Factory Lord Scorpion. It is Iron Factory EX18. But yeah, awesome little Scorponok on his own. Works great with the already established Iron Factory figures. They just announced some more. There's like a Starscream coming. They announced a Bruticus combiner. All of it looks great. Definitely looking forward to more from this company. But this is one I was really looking forward to. I love Scorponok. I love that I now have a fairly accurate G1 Scorponok in a size that I can carry around and play with. There it is, Iron Factory Lord Scorpion.